Hi, good morning. This is Nasir, and today in this video I'm going to show you how to install free SSL certificate for Vultr one-click WordPress app. Vultr is one of the famous cloud hosting service providers. It is known for its fast and reliable WordPress hosting as well as other cloud hosting services. Another good thing is that it offers a lot of a famous application to be installed in single click while deploying the server. So applications like WordPress, LAMP stack, LAMP, Linux, Nginx, MySQL, and PHP, or WordPress, Magento, Plesk, cPanel. All such applications can be installed with single click while deploying the server, and that only takes like 2-3 minutes for the whole process to be completed. So that was the good thing about Vultr, and it gives you free SSH access, so you have full control over the server that you are deploying, so you can install SSL certificates for all the domains that you are hosting on your cloud VPS. Now in this video we are focusing on installing WordPress, one-click WordPress app, and then we will issue free SSL certificates from Let's Encrypt Certificate Authority for that website that we will be hosting for Vultr one-click WordPress app. So in this video I'll also show you how to deploy a Vultr one-click WordPress app and then install the free SSL certificate for it. Now first of all, you need to log into your Vultr Vultr cloud account, which will look something similar to this once you get to the server interface. And if you don't have any server, you will be asked to deploy one here, or you can simply click on the plus icon on the upper right corner and then deploy the server. So let's try to deploy one here, and the first step is to select the location. I'll select somewhere in the United States, and let's say Chicago, and then you have to go to the application tab on the second step, where you have the options for one-click applications, and I will be choosing WordPress here, and then the server size, I'm gonna choose the minimum one, and then type the name of the host here. And I have some free domains that I got from Freenom, so I'll be using one of these domains, and let's say I'm gonna use hogdivelab.tk, so I'll type the same name here. So right now it's not hosted anywhere. Alright, so let's put in the host name. Okay, hogdivelab.tk. You can type anything here in the host name. Host name is just for the identifying the servers for your reference. And let's click on deploy now. It will take a few minutes to complete the installation, and during the installation you will be issued a unique public IP address for your server. That IP address is where your domain DNS record point to. So your domain's DNS A record should point to the same IP address that you have here for your Vultr Cloud VPS. So I'll copy this IP address, and then I'll go to my domain registrar. So if you have your domain registered through GoDaddy, Namecheap, or any other such domain registrar, they all have a domain management tool. You should go there and find this option to change the domain's A record. For me, on Freenom, I have this section here, so I'll go to this hogdivelab.tk domain, manage domain, okay, and then click manage Freenom DNS, and then here are the IP address for domains A record and the www host. So I'll change the IP address and then save. Now this change will take like 5 minutes to 15 minutes to become effective. I'll have to wait here. I'm sorry that it's running a little slower at the moment. And I hope the server is up and running now. So it says green, status green running, so server is ready. And the DNS change permission timed out. Let me try that again. I think it's changed already. Let me just double check that. Record modified successfully. So I have both the host, the www version and without www. They both are pointing to this IP address, which is my Vultr's cloud VPS and Vultr's one-click WordPress app. Now if I access this IP address, I should see the WordPress. Okay, but this is a WordPress WP admin login prompt, which is an additional types of security deployed or imposed by Vultr hosting service provider, just to make sure you have the access, or you only, the owner of this VPS get the access to the WordPress application, because the WordPress is not installed on this cloud VPS yet. It's installed, but it is not set up yet. So in order to set up, you have an additional security, so that only you can set it up. Nobody else can actually access your IP address and set it up. So in order to log in there, you have a separate username and password that is sent to you by email and is also available in the cloud VPS overview section. Now I'll type the username here and the password. Okay, now the WordPress installation has started, but I'm not gonna install it from there because my domain name is also pointed to the same IP address. I'll try to access the domain and see if it works. I'm sure the Google Chrome will not be able to access it. It would still be using the old IP address. So I'll try to use a VPN connection. Let me access it from here. I'm connected through a VPN connection on different location. Okay, so now it's asking the same thing, username and password for the additional WP admin security login prompt. I'll use the same username and password here also to install my WordPress one-click application. Setting it up for the first time. Let's save this here for now. So select the language as English, continue, site title, Hog Dive Lab, username, type anything you want, password, let's type something of your choice. Alright, now click install WordPress. Alright, so the WordPress is installed and let's log in. If I type hogdivelab.tk, let's see what happens. It should open the default WordPress theme, so which means WordPress is working, my website is working, and I can log into the WordPress using the username and password that I just created during the setting up the WordPress, and well, my website is ready, but I do not have the SSL certificate installed yet. So if I try to access this website over HTTPS connection. Let's see what happens. It will not move anywhere. It will keep searching because it's trying to access the SSL certificate, which it is not able to find. I'll tell you what's happening. The Vultr's one-click WordPress app has a default a self-signed certificate installed for the WordPress one-click app. So when I'm trying to access this domain or this website over HTTPS connection, it's trying to you know serve the connection over HTTPS using the self-signed certificate, which is not working properly over public IP network. So we need to have a proper certificate issued by a certificate authority. So I'll show you all these things, and for that we need to connect to the cloud VPS server using the SSH protocol, which that software that we use to connect to the cloud VPS server is called SSH client. It uses SSH secure shell protocol to access and run command on the cloud VPS. So if you are using a Windows operating system, you need to download a third-party software called PuTTY or WinSCP. These are SSH client software that can be installed on Windows operating system, but if you have a Mac, you can use the inbuilt application named Terminal. Using Terminal, you can easily connect to any cloud VPS over SSH connection, SSH protocol. So this is my Terminal app. Okay, I'll just increase the font size. So in order to log into your cloud VPS, you need to type this command SSH username. So I'll be logging into as logging on to the cloud VPS as a root user, root at, and then the IP address of the cloud VPS server. So the IP address is right here. I'll copy that and paste it. Hit enter. Now because you're logging on to the server for the first time, so it will ask you to accept the certificate so that it can be used when you connect to this server the next time. So type yes, hit enter, and now you need to put the password. You need to type the root password. So root password is also here. You copy the password and paste it here. Password is not shown on the screen, not even a single dot or asterisk sign. So just type the password and hit enter, and now I'm logged in. Now first of all, we need to remove that additional WP admin login prompt, and then proceed for the SSL certificate installation. We already have the domain working, the WordPress is working. If somebody types hogdive.ga in the browser address bar, hogdive lab.tk, which is the domain that we hosted on this cloud VPS one-click Vultr WordPress app. So the website is working. We just need to have SSL enabled, and I'll tell you what, in order to remove that additional WP admin, you need to go to the default virtual host file. Virtual host file is a file that tells web server where the website file is located for a domain. So if somebody types a website address in his or her browser's address bar, that browser send the website request to the cloud VPS or any hosting web server. Hosting web server checks the request, then check the name of the domain the website is being requested for, and then look for the website files described or mentioned in the document root directory. It looks for the document root directory for that particular website or the domain name, and those informations are found in virtual host file. So each domain has a virtual host file associated with it, which tells the web server where the domain where the website files for this particular domain is located. So if you are using, or if you are hosting multiple websites on a single cloud VPS, you would have multiple uh, you know virtual host file or single virtual host file having information about multiple web servers, multiple websites or domain names. But in this case we are using one single domain for Vultr one-click WordPress app. So it has a default virtual host file, and that virtual host file is where that additional security is implemented. So I'll tell you where this file is located. It's in /edc/nginx/conf.d folder. If you list the content of this folder, you will see WordPress _http.conf and WordPress _https.conf. So that WordPress _https.conf is an additional file which is actually not required. That's why the HTTPS version is not being accessed here, and also not giving any error. Otherwise it should have given me an error if I do not have the HTTPS certificates available, or if the protocol is not supported. But this particular one is responsible because it is using self-signed certificates. So I'll first remove it. I usually remove this file, but you can move it to keep it as a backup. So move WordPress _https.conf, move it to the root directory. Okay, now if I list the content again, I only have WordPress.http. Now if I try that HTTPS, okay, it will not work until I reload the configuration of Nginx. And before we do that, let's edit this WordPress _http.conf file to remove additional WP admin login prompt. And that login prompt is popping up because of its settings enabled here, which starts from this line: location, control, WP admin. So this is where we need to remove these security settings, and it has to be removed till here. It's like a 15 lines of code, so I start deleting these. Alright, so it's deleted now. And after deleting this, there is the second settings that you need to do, so that you will be able to install SSL for the domain. So any domain that you are hosting on the server, or any domain you need the certificate to be issued for, that must be mentioned here in the server block section of the virtual host file. That server block is right here under server, where it says listen AD. Right below that you have server name, and then the name of the server is blank, just as an underscore sign. So you need to replace that underscore sign with the name of the server. So server name is the name of the domain. So my domain name is hawkdive lab.tk in this case, and also you should put the www version of the domain. Okay, make sure you have the settings correct. hogdivelab.tk, and make sure you do not delete or remove that semicolon, otherwise you will end up getting a syntax error for Nginx, and the Nginx server will stop working. So that was all we needed to do here, and now I'll save this file by pressing Ctrl O, hit enter, and then Ctrl X to quit. And now you need to restart the Nginx services. Okay, so if I try to access the HTTPS connection now, it should give me the error quickly because it is not available, but it will be accessible over HTTP. Okay, so this is working, and also that WP login prompt should be removed. So let me log off and show you how it works. So I logged out, and let me disconnect, and let's connect to a different location. Okay, so I don't see any login prompt here at the moment. Alright, now let's go ahead and proceed with the SSL certificate installation. And in order to install the SSL certificate, we should have the Certbot application installed. That Certbot is a automatic certificate installation software which obtain the certificate from Let's Encrypt, issue it, get it issued, and then set up the server for the certificate to be worked properly. And also that Certbot is responsible for renewing the certificate every within every 3 months, because if certificate issued by Let's Encrypt is valid for 3 months, but that is available at a free renewal for lifetime, so you don't need to pay anything. And before we proceed, we should also make sure the softwares are up to date. And let me start the command here. So sudo apt get update to make sure the server softwares are up to date. Okay, now sudo apt. I have put in all these commands in the description section of this video, so you can see the description to use this command. apt get install software properties common. Yes. Alright. Now type sudo apt get. Let's add the Certbot repository first. So sudo add apt repository ppa on Certbot /Certbot. Press enter. Okay, now sudo apt get update one more time. Okay, now you need to install the Certbot client for the Nginx web server. The Vultr's one-click WordPress app has Nginx web server, but if it were an Apache web server, I would have used Apache instead of Nginx. So let me type the command sudo apt get install python certbot Nginx. So we just need to replace Nginx at the end with Apache if it were an Apache web server. Yes. So whenever it prompts for a confirmation, just press Y to accept. Will just take a few seconds and will be completed soon. Alright, it's done. Now I'll type the command to obtain the certificate. Now the command to obtain the certificate is also simple: sudo certbot -nginx, and then -d, and the name of the domain you are requesting certificate for. So that domain is hogdivelab.tk. Now you have www version also, so that will also be treated as a separate domain. So I need to type -d again and then www.hogdivelab.tk. Make sure the spellings are correct, and now you have to hit enter. And this is the first time you are installing the certificate from Let's Encrypt on this server, so it will create a user profile for your account on the server, and for that you need to provide your email address where the certificate expiration or renewal related notices are sent to. So my email, I would type okay. Now you need to agree, press A, and would you be willing to share your email, press no, or you can press yes if you want to share your email with Electronic Frontier Foundation, a founding partner of the Let's Encrypt project. And then it's checking for the domain verification, and then it will install the certificate. Alright, now it's the last question: do you want to redirect the non HTTPS request to HTTPS version of the website, because your website will now be accessible at both the address HTTP protocol and over HTTPS protocol? So this would be the best option. You should always select option number 2 to redirect an all non HTTPS request to HTTPS. Alright, so congratulations, your certificate has been installed. Now if I refresh this website page, let's see what happened. It should automatically be redirected to the HTTPS version, and you should see the certificate. See that HTTPS and a green icon, a log sign for the SSL, and that SSL is verified by Let's Encrypt Certificate Authority. And if you see more information, you will see it's issued for website hogdivelab.tk, sorry. So this is how we install free SSL certificate for in Nginx web server, and this was for Vultr one-click WordPress app, which uses Nginx web server in the backend on Ubuntu 16.04. I hope you liked this video. If you want to host multiple websites on your Vultr one-click WordPress app, you can watch my other video, which I have also mentioned in the I button. Click on the I button to see the other videos related to the SSL certificate installation and hosting multiple website on a single cloud VPS server. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please click on the like button and subscribe to the channel to get more updates. Have a good day. Bye bye.